Aloha everyone, Aunty Max here. Welcome to the first episode of Season 2. I'm really looking forward to this new season and sharing the many stories that's in store for all of you. Since last season, I've been receiving lots of comments and inquiries of people wanting to share their stories. So I've been busy interviewing several former Hawaii residents, and I'm excited to share them with you. But before I go there, I thought it would be appropriate to share my story and some key points of myself. After interviewing several Kanaka Maoli and hearing their heart for our homeland of Hawaii and their relocation stories, I realized I need to share my story and how I recently became part of that Hawaii abroad community myself. Yes, that means I recently relocated away from my homeland of Hawaii also. And just like many residents that had to make that difficult decision to move, I struggled with that thought for many years. What happened was that my one and only young adult son relocated to Las Vegas about 2010. And it was mostly to pursue a better career opportunity. Ever since then, the thought of moving to Vegas to be with him and his wife tugged my heart. I spoke to them practically every day and even visited twice, maybe 3 times a year. Long story short, after more than 10 years away from home, they made me a happy grandmother. Or as we say in Hawaiian, tutu. I became a tutu. I was happy that my family was growing, but I was unhappy that I wasn't physically there with them. As a tutu, I now have kuleana, or responsibility, to help raise and teach my mo'opuna, which is grandchildren, by sharing my life experiences and passing my ike, or my knowledge, on to them. And when you look back into Hawaiian history, grandparents have a major role in the ohana, and I decided that it's time for me to take on that responsibility and be there for my family. So I made that difficult decision to relocate and join them in Las Vegas. This last year, I've been transitioning between the 2 locations by flying back and forth between Hawaii and Las Vegas. But now it's time to make Vegas my temporary official home. Yes, temporary. Because returning home to Hawaii will always be my goal. Not sure when I will be going back to Hawaii, but I know it's my goal and that'll always be my home. I have so many fond memories of swimming at the beach until the sun went down, hiking in the forest, picking ferns and flowers for my hula leis, hanging out with family and friends, and even breaking my leg when I was a little girl after running down a steep dirt hill with my sisters and neighborhood friends. Having that kind of injury back during those days meant hospitalization. And I believe I was there for a few days. As a little girl, being away from home for the first time, being away from my family and friends, well, my mom mostly, I remember it was a very scary experience. That was definitely a lesson of life. Hawaii is where I grew up. Hawaii is where I started my family. Hawaii is where I have so much friends. Hawaii is where most of my family is. It's also where my hula ohana is. Hula is a lifelong journey for me. It started way back when I was little, watching my sisters take hula lessons from a neighborhood friend. We used to call her Granny. I remember I couldn't take lessons because I was too young. But my two sisters, took lessons at her house. And whenever they would go, I would stand outside the window, watching through the window all the girls learning how to hula. And I knew at that time that that's what I wanted to do. Eventually, as I got a little older, I was able to take some lessons at an after-school program. And I remember that first class that I went to, I guess because I had the desire to learn, that first lesson, I was actually put on a spot because while we was dancing, the instructor noticed that I was picking up the moves very quick. But she had two groups going at the same time. I was in the youngest group, and then she had one next to us that was a little older. So she was bouncing from one group to the other. And because she noticed that I picked it up quick, she put me in the front and had the girls just follow me. And then she ran to the other group. And I was like, okay, this is my first time doing this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I would never forget that day that I guess I had the skills of learning this, and I had the drive. So one day my mom and dad took me to Hawaiian music concert held at University of Hawaii's Andrew Outdoor Theater. And that was the first time that I saw Kawaikapu Hewitt dance hula. I was so amazed at how he commanded that stage and how he flowed from one side to the other. I was literally in a trance watching him dance hula. Well, Dad took me there specifically to watch him, to see Kawaikapu dance. And he was a kumu hula, and we used to live in Kaneohe, and his halau was in Kaneohe. So Dad wanted me to start dancing with him, and I'm so glad he did. He took me to practices, and I felt at home. I just enjoyed being part of the halau. So I grew up in Kawaikapu's halau, which is called Kuhai Halau, o Kawaikapu o Kalani, Pa o Lapukahiko. So I grew up in a halau, and I loved every minute of it. I'm so grateful for the ike that was passed on to me. Eventually, when I became a young adult, I kind of subsided because I had other responsibilities like work. And of course, I had a new boyfriend that was jealous of me dancing. So I would do a lot of things with him. And eventually we moved very far away from where the halau is. Of course, on the same island, but it was just kind of hard for me to raise a family and still dance hula with a group that was over an hour drive away. And, in Hawaii, that hour drive seems pretty long, but, when you're in the mainland, that's a different story. It's not that long. Anyway, some of my activities, personal activities, had to subside, which hula was one of it. But hula was always part of my life. After about a decade, I finally came back to Kaneohe and went back to be part of the halau. But there was a lot of changes in the halau. Kumu was doing a lot of traveling. And I eventually started dancing for one of my hula sisters that did uniki or graduate under Kumu. So it was in the same genealogy line. And I danced for her a few years, and eventually I did uniki also, and I became a kumu hula myself. So being a kumu hula, along with having my Hawaiian studies degree, and just keeping up with a lot of culture experiences, I realized it was time for me to start sharing this ike. And thankfully, I was able to do that at work. So I was working for about 15 years with a Hawaiian Culture Public Charter School in Kaneohe. And fortunately, I was able to work with the students and share a lot of culture background by teaching them stories and the dance that goes along with the stories, and just many other things like craft and stuff. So I really enjoyed working there. Plus, they allowed me to use that location to open up my own halau back in June 2016. And I started teaching in the evenings as my own halau, which is called Halau Anuhea I Kapoli o Kawahine Ho'omanawa Nui. I know that's a mouthful. But anyway, Kawahine Ho'omanawa Nui is my middle name, which means a woman of patience. And Halau Anuhea I Kapoli o Kawahine Ho'omanawa Nui is that it is the school in the cool bosom of myself, or close to my heart. So what it really means is that this school is part of me, and what I teach and share is part of my heart. However, because I knew in the back of my mind I always wanted to relocate and be with my family, I didn't put too much effort into growing it and advertising it to make it big, because I was actually doing it mostly because I had nieces that was ready to learn, and I took on that responsibility to teach my family, along with some other young ladies from the community that wanted to learn. Therefore, after a couple years, I closed it because, one, the girls was all getting older and they was graduating and leaving the island to go to school elsewhere. And also I started pursuing other things. But I know the day will come where I will be opening up the halau again, or at least teaching in some other capacity, teaching hula. And if anybody wants to know a little bit more about that halau, I still have my website up, which is halauanuheakh.com, or HEAKH.com. So that's halauanuheakh.com. But anyway, it has a lot of information about my halau, and we'll see if one day that opportunity opens up again. Actually, I've been getting a lot of inquiries in Vegas, so we'll see. We will see what happens in the future. Another key point about myself is that I just recently graduated from UH West Oahu. And yes, that was during the time that I was kind of going back and forth between Hawaii and Vegas. But I graduated with my bachelor's in creative media, new technology. I've always been someone about technology, and as it has evolved, I try to keep up with the times. Because really, the funny thing about technology and myself is that I was given an opportunity to go to school years ago, a few decades ago, where my education would be paid for, and that was in technology. So I was just learning how to use technology. So I was being a user, how to operate these different softwares. And then eventually I started evolving with the technology, teaching people how to use the software, the current software of that time, and then started learning how to do hardware, meaning the equipment, how to take apart a computer, how to put it back together. So all these little gadgets that go into a computer. So I started learning that. And then I had to learn how to connect these computers, which is called networking. So how does one computer talk to the other? And eventually that's what the type of work that I was doing. And then I went into cybersecurity and, things have just evolved over the many generations. And now I just recently finished creative media with the new technology, and that's mostly using like social media, how to design websites, how to design graphics, and a bunch of other things. So yeah, my technology journey has evolved over the many years, actually decades. So that's pretty much me. Overall, I'm a person that loves technology. I love my culture. I love my family. And I'm someone that had to relocate away from my homeland of Hawaii and now reside in Nevada. Who knows how long I'll be here or if I'll relocate somewhere else. But I'm enjoying my time here with my family and also experiencing different adventures here on the mainland, because I have gone on a lot of road trips within this last year. Me and my kanaka, my man, we just get into our car. Kawila is how you say that in Hawaiian. And we just start driving. We've gone to many places in Arizona, Utah, California, mostly close to Vegas, yeah. We've gone to the Grand Canyon, to different places. There's just so much adventurous places to go to. And we'll see. Who knows how long we'll be up here and how many places we'll be visiting. But I definitely know Hawaii, it will be on that journey every year, because I gotta get my feet back into the ocean. In fact, recently I just came back from Hawaii, and feeling that sand in the water, in the ocean, is just breathtaking. So, okay, gang, I know I've been rambling on for a while, but like I said, I just want to share a little bit about me, some key points about me, and hopefully you guys find value in what I will be sharing this season, this second season of Hawaii Abroad audio podcasts. And if you do, please subscribe, leave comment, even rate my podcast, and of course, share with your family and friends. And if you have ideas on what you want me to share culturally, or even know someone that relocated that want to share their story, please send them my way and let me know. Always happy to talk to people and share my background on what I do know. And if I don't know what you're asking, I would definitely tap into my resources and help everyone to find the answers. So I'll do my best. But one very important quote that we have in our Hawaiian culture is "A'ohe pau ka ike I ka halau ho'okahi," which means not all knowledge is learned in one school. So whenever I share things, whatever, especially when it comes from the culture, it doesn't mean that it is so, because other schools teach things differently. So it's always good to just open your heart, open your mind, and just learn as much as you can. And that's my intent here, to just share that knowledge from the school that I have learned from, the school of life and my culture teaching. All right, gang, I think I took up a lot of you guys' time already, so I'm going to get going, and hopefully you guys tune back in again here at Hawaii Abroad Audio Podcast. Have a great day. Aunty Max signing out. Aloha.